The following program is rated PG. Parental guidance is advised, as the theme or content may not be suitable for all children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello friends, welcome back to On Location. I'm your host Zara Durrani. Today we're here on location in Whistler as Whistler just celebrated 50 years, a milestone that marks its transformation from a small ski town into one of the world's most iconic mountain destinations. From the Olympics to global festivals to the Invictus Games, Whistler has grown into a community that welcomes millions while staying grounded in its mountain spirit. Today, I'm joined by Whistler's Mayor Jack Crompton, whose family has been part of this community since the very beginning. We'll be speaking to Mayor Crompton about Whistler's history, the present, as well as what the next 50 years might hold. Let's go speak with Mayor Crompton. I am so honored that Whistler Mayor Jack was able to make time for us and join us this afternoon. I know you're really busy. You're just coming out of celebrations and crank work, so much happening here in Whistler. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah, real pleasure.
Tell us, what has the summer been like so far?
You know, our summers are busier and busier all the time, and mountain biking, being in the mountains and hiking and golf, and it's a really full time. And so the people who work here are going a million miles an hour, making it happen. And it's been great. Crankworks this year was outstanding. We just had our 50th anniversary celebrations with Sam Roberts, which was pretty exciting. And having the world in Whistler is something we love, and so it's been a good summer.
And you know, it's fascinating. We got in yesterday. It was a Monday afternoon, and I imagined it to be quieter. Monday's a great time. It's not the Friday. It's not the Saturday. It's packed here. Restaurants are packed. So you guys are not just busy in the winter, but it's like year round. You have so much to do in Whistler. What does it feel like to know that you're here as the mayor, you're celebrating 50 years, the town is buzzing, there's so much activity taking place here in Whistler?
It's exciting. I mean, I just know all the people who put in all the work to make it happen, and they gave their lives for it, and so I'm proud of them. And it's nice to have people in town. It means paychecks in pockets, which is a really big deal for a town like ours. And it means that the work we've done over the years to host arts and culture as well as recreation has really taken root. And so that has meant now our summers are actually busier per person than our winters, and that creates,
which is shocking.
It's a real change for us. If you compare it to the 1990s, yeah, our summers were dead. There was no one here, and as recently as 2016, our summers were very quiet. And so we've seen growth over time, and then coming out of COVID, we've seen the world really sort of understand that Whistler is a summer place as well as a winter place.
So for someone who hasn't been here to Whistler before, who lives in the Lower Mainland, what would you say to them?
Yeah, come anytime. And midweek's a great time because there's more access. We do have busy weekends, and midweek is just opportunity. And either way, one of the things that struck me a while ago, and I spent almost every day doing it, is that you are very close to no one. Even when it's very busy here, there are so many great trails that you can get away and just breathe and be on your own. Something I do every day, and I encourage people who visit when I welcome them at conferences and that kind of thing to do the same time. Connect with people, but take the opportunity to be alone, because there's lots of space to be alone.
Let's talk about the celebrations for 50 years. When you reflect on that milestone, what comes to mind first, 50 years?
Vision, people, a community that has done this together. We are in the original Nancy Green Lodge, and that makes me think of people like Al Rain, Nancy Green, people who dreamed this place and then worked to see it happen. And it's visionaries and workers together that saw an opportunity for us as a province, an opportunity for British Columbia, an opportunity for Canada to offer something extremely special, and then they realized that dream. And I think for me, it asks me a question. What do we see out the window for the next 50 years? Because this is incredibly special, and it's come out of an amazing amount of work. And I think we who are here now need to add our piece and be visionaries and be workers to deliver what's next. And I am most focused on this being a great place for people to live, to raise families, and to have jobs. And so I would just say there's a lot of work to do, and there's been a lot of work that's been done.
So I'd love to hear about your background and your history in Whistler. Were you born here, for the audience who may not be familiar? And how long have you called Whistler home for?
I was born in Kelowna, so it's about 6 hours into the interior from here. My grandparents were big skiers, and they were in Vancouver. And so in the early 60s, they built a cabin up here. You could buy property for $2,000 a lot. And there was nothing here and there was no one here, but the skiing was world class. So they knew that, Seymour and Hollyburn in the Lower Mainland were good, but this was going to be great. And so they just had a desire to be where the skiing was great. And so as a kid, I grew up getting in a station wagon with wood paneling and roof racks in Kelowna on a Friday afternoon and driving all the way to Whistler to be with family. So for me, Whistler's always been a very special place. It's held family for me. It's held big mountains and recreation, and it's held community. And so as soon as I could get here, I came, and the best decision I think we've ever made as a family is to call this place home.
What would you say to young families and parents wanting to bring their kids up here, whether for the first time or on a regular basis, and making Whistler, coming down from Lower Mainland instead of going anywhere else, but exploring BC more?
Well, for me, I've felt like Carolyn and I, my wife, have felt like we really have the mountains as co-parents. Like they teach, and they've taught our kids how to take care of themselves, how to be aware of the environment that they're in. My two eldest daughters are studying to be mountain guides. They're at Thompson Rivers University, focused on what it means to help people experience the mountains in a safe way. This morning they got in the car and drove to Squamish because they were spending the day rock climbing, learning how to guide on the rocks. And so for me, I think the mountains are a teacher. The mountains are a place to gather, and in a lot of ways they're a magnet for me as a person, dragging me up here, because when you get up there above it all and just see the world from the top of a mountain, it's a pretty special experience. So grateful to be able to live up in the mountains.
What do you think has been a defining moment for Whistler? When I think about it, I think of the Olympics. But are there a few that stand out for you?
Yeah, there's those big moments where we've welcomed the world. The Olympics, obviously, being the one that we all think and talk about. I mean, it's why Whistler was first dreamt up in the 60s, was to host the 1968 Olympics. And at that point, there was like 250 people here. It took forever to get to town. I mean, it was as one of the sort of founders of the community said to me, it was a preposterous idea at the time. But that meant that for a long time we dreamt about hosting. And so when we did, it was the realization of a dream. We just hosted the Invictus Games this year. Crankworks coming back, being a world-leading event that was born here is pretty special. And then I think of those things that have been established that help community exist in this place. We have a target in our community of 75% of workers living in Whistler. Most resorts in the world, people live down valley. And so that means 45 minutes of commuting each way, an hour and a half in your car every day. You don't have that same kind of vibrancy of people living here, coaching soccer and that kind of thing. So founding of the infrastructure that makes Whistler work is a big deal for me. The Whistler Housing Authority, Whistler Community Services Society, the Association of Whistler Area Residents for the Environment Aware, these community assets that allow there to be people here. There's something special about going on a holiday and getting to know someone who lives in the community. And when there are no people living in the community, your experience is less authentic, your experience is less exciting. And so yes, big moments, but then also the idea that there are people here, there are people that call this home.
And that makes the heart and soul of the community.
Totally, and we're unique in that way. Like I say, most communities who host, as far as the ski resort world is concerned, their communities live 45 minutes away. And so it's special that most of the workers who live here, that work here, live here.
I'd love to hear some of your top, like perhaps 3 or 4 activities that you can share with our viewers when it comes to some activities in the summer and in winter.
Sure. So I think at its very core, there's something for everybody. So if your family's coming and you think, I'm not a skier, so I won't go, you should come. The dining is world class. The art and the culture is incredible. The Squamish-Lilwat Cultural Center is home to Squamish and Lilwat history and culture and language. You can learn about the first peoples of this land. The Adane Art Museum is home to British Columbia's art collection. It is fantastic. And every 6 months, we have a new temporary exhibit that is in the temporary collection. And right now it's Gathered Leaves, which includes Degas, Chagall, Picasso, some really exciting art from around the world. An incredible Emily Carr collection that is worth seeing. The walking is wonderful. Just walking in the village is pretty special. And then there's terrific trails for people of all skills and abilities. We've got 5 amazing lakes to swim in. And then we've already talked about it, but that mountaintop experience of just getting to the top of the mountain and going for a 15-minute walk or a 5-hour walk is great as well. And so the skiing is world class, the mountain biking is world class, the golf is world class. But if those things don't interest you, you will find something else that will.
We would like to talk a bit about the Whistler Film Festival because that's really exciting. That invites a lot of folks, and this year they're celebrating their 25 years. So this December is going to be busy for you, and would love to hear from you. What can folks expect this coming season, this fall-winter season here in Whistler?
The film festival is at this really special time in our calendar where the resort is ready to welcome people for the winter. And there's a whole bunch of new people working in the community who are excited about welcoming people. We haven't really started winter yet. And so the film festival is sort of the, excuse me, the kickoff to the winter. So the lights are all on. It is, you're in a winter wonderland, and you can watch some unbelievable films. And the film festival has done a really good job of bringing both the industry and film lovers into one space to enjoy film together. And so a lot of times you're rubbing shoulders with people who are on film or who have made the film. And that's pretty neat to sit in a theater with someone who is in one of the films that is being presented. And a lot of times you find those the next year in the Oscars, chasing down big prizes. And so it's a great time to come. There's a lot of space to enjoy film and to enjoy Whistler. So consider it. It's great.
I know the next 50 is a lot to imagine looking ahead, but we would love to hear from you. What are your hopes for the next 50 years? And also, like, this will be the town that your kids will get to enjoy and their kids will get to enjoy. So what do you envision for the next 50 years?
Well, I think that's what you just said is what I'm most interested in, is that there's an opportunity for my kids to continue to enjoy this place and other kids like them. And that's a challenge for a place where property is so expensive. And so we will need to continue to do the work that we've been doing with the Whistler Housing Authority and the Whistler Development Corporation, building housing for people workers to live in. 50 years from now, I hope that we are a place that's addressed some of the sort of friction points that we currently have as far as our community is concerned. I hope that we are a more just place. I hope that we are a kinder place. Not that we're not just and kind now, but let's aspire to do better. And I hope that we've been really innovative and creative in how we've responded to some of our biggest challenges. Snow's going away. And that's a reality that we are really trying to dig into and understand and respond to. We used to have, I grew up skiing on Whistler Mountain on the glacier there. It's gone. And recently, 4 years ago, there was skiing on Blackcomb Glacier, and that's stopped now as well. So summer skiing, as far as Whistler's concerned, is no longer something that we get to enjoy. So us as a community being innovative and responding is a really big and important job for all of us. And I hope Whistler continues to be this unbelievable place that people want to visit and that people want to live. I know that we all in this community share that interest in working hard to make it happen. So yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about where we go from here.
Lastly, Mayor, I know you're really, really busy. I would love to hear you describe this 50-year celebration in 3 words. How would you describe it?
Oh, 3 words. That's tough. Whistler, Whistler, Whistler. I feel like Whistler, the place, Whistler, the people, and Whistler, the history. And that has really been what we've tried to deliver for our community, is a celebration of Whistler.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time.
It's a pleasure. This is
I
great.
know your hands are full. You're a very busy man, and thank you for making time for us. I truly, truly appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in and watching On Location Vancouver. If you'd like to share your story with us and be a guest on the show, please scan the QR code and someone from our team will get in touch with you. We'll see you soon.